Welcome to Heart of the Elders Part 1. Welcome to Heart of the Elders Part 1. This is the third episode, I believe, of the League of Extraordinary Investigators, where I am piloting Joe Diamond through the not the most challenging, but some of the challenging scenarios of the Forgotten Age. And today we are doing probably the most miserable scenario of the Forgotten Age, which is Heart of the Elders Part 1. This is a truly brutal slog that is very repetitive and annoying, and we're playing it for fun, because why not? I've actually found in testing that my deck is exceptionally well suited for this scenario. The big reason for that is Pendant of the Queen. One of the big challenges of this scenario is that you have to run it into the jungle, pick up a bunch of clues, then run all the way back to drop them off at the mouth of the cave. Pendant of the Queen says, choose a revealed location and move to it. So I can basically run all the way out here, pick up all the clues, and then without even spending an action, get all the way back to the mouth. It ends up saving me pretty much an entire turn's worth of running backwards, which can really be the difference between 3 pillars and 6 pillars, because one extra turn is, pillar, pillar, pillar. It's a really big advantage. It also means you don't have to run through a bunch of enemies that you may have left along the way. So, in terms of my deck, I've already done the hunch deck. You can see the hunch deck here. I'm going to shuffle that, of course. My main deck is exactly the same as it was for the last scenario. The only difference is I've added a charisma. The reason I've added a charisma is that I've chosen to start with Ichtaka in play. There's been quite a bit of debate between Ichtaka and Expedition Journal as the best start for this scenario. Alejandro's not even in the conversation. Alejandro sucks. I went with Ichtaka from testing. I tested both out, and I found Ichtaka to be much better. A couple reasons for this. One, Ichtaka essentially removes a loss condition for me from this scenario. This isn't necessarily true for everyone, but I can get horrored out fairly easily. I only have 6 sanity and 2 willpower. The fact that Ichtaka not only provides 2 soak, but can also heal horror by killing enemies, means that I'm essentially unkillable now. She also provides 3 physical soak, so between the 11 health and 8 sanity and the sanity healing, I don't really need to worry about dying this scenario, which means I don't have to commit resources to things like Lost in the Wilds or Pitfall, which means I can save those for really key tests like the snake bite, ants, and evasion and investigate tests. That's where most of my resources are going to be going. So the other reason, that's sort of the things that Ichtaka does well. The other big thing is that this deck is very good at finding specific cards. Because I'm playing a segment of Onyx deck, I'm also playing things like No Stone in my Hunch deck. I'm playing Rook, of course. So I'm very good at finding a specific card if I want to find it. And Ichtaka and Expedition Journal are both MVPs in this scenario. The difference is that Expedition Journal costs 2 and Ichtaka costs 4. So I'm essentially saving myself 2 resources by starting with Ichtaka in play, because chances are I'm going to get both in play eventually in either case. So this is essentially saving me dollars. Those are ultimately the big reasons. Without further ado, let's jump into the scenario. So I'm going to first randomize which ruin I get into my exploration deck. Don't need these. Then I'm going to shuffle my exploration deck, put it off to the side here, shuffle my encounter deck, search the bag just so everything's on the up and up. You can see this is the bag we're dealing with. We've got the -5, we've got the Elder thing, all that's good. Give my deck one last shuffle, give my hunch deck one last shuffle, and let's begin. Drawing 7 cards, thanks to Double Studious. Alright. Alright, this hand is not great. Certainly putting back... I like the Ever-Vigilant and I like the Archaic Glyphs. Prophecy Foretold is really quite good in this scenario because you want to be... Evading and investigating are two things that you want to be doing a lot. So the fact that it's giving you both is really strong. I'm not going to keep my Detective Colts, both because I already have a way to deal with enemies with the Archaic Glyphs, and because this is double-handed. This card is essentially just icons in this deck, because I'm playing a Dream Diary build. I think that the Dream Diary is better, it's worth essentially invalidating my unique item, because Dream Diary is just so good in a lot of these scenarios. All right, so I'm going to mulligan 5. It sucks that I'm drawing into... I'm probably going to draw at least one Astounding Revelation this way, but I really want to find more of my pivotal assets to put into play right away with Ever-Vigilant. The fact that I have Ever-Vigilant in my starting hand means that things like Rook, Dream Diary, Expedition Journal get so much more valuable because they come into play right away and can start generating me value. All right, let's see what I get. All right. I'm very happy to see the Rook. Everything else, not so great. I'm also very happy no Astounding Revelations. That was lucky. And the Rook's pretty fantastic. All right, so let's see what my starting hunch is. No Stone. That's actually fantastic. That's one of the best starting hunches. I'm definitely going to start with that. So click 1 is going to be No Stone. I give this one last shuffle just to make sure. And top 6. All right, I found an Astounding Revelation. That's fantastic. And then, realistically, the choices are Segment and Pathfinder. I don't think I need Enchanted Blade this game. And even though I am exploring a bunch, I found that Pathfinder is still quite helpful in this scenario. There's a lot of times where you want to be sidestepping enemies, or you explore in one direction and it's a dead end and you need to walk back the other way. Like if you hit the circuitous trail, for instance, and you don't have the money. So both of those seem excellent to me. I think I want to prioritize Pathfinder. Actually, no. You know what I'm going to do? Because I was thinking about the Pathfinder lets me do a really high value Ever-Vigilant this turn of Rook, Pathfinder, and Archaic Glyphs. I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just play the Rook, and the Rook's going to find me more assets to play on my next turn with Ever-Vigilant. Because I still don't have Expedition Journal, I still don't have Dream Diary. And those are two of the most important assets in the deck, especially the Dream Diary. Having those recurring icons every turn, I found really helps with this scenario. So that's going to be the play. And so I'm just going to grab the Segment of Onyx because I am eventually going to want to assemble Segment. So that's going to be good to have. But still, that was a really good No Stone. Sorry, that was my first action, was the No Stone unturned. It essentially got me a card and $2, which is pretty valuable. All right, so then click 2 is going to be Rook. That cost me 3. And I'm just immediately going to use Rook, hoping to find an Expedition Journal here so that I can just start exploring right away. But yeah, let's see what we get. 9 cards. Nothing exciting here. Nothing really good. I think I'm gonna grab... I think I'm grabbing Eureka. Just as a way to dig a little further for my key assets. You know, search into search kind of idea. All right, so then I put these 8 cards back. And for my last action, I'm going to explore, because I do want to start, I want to start exploring and making progress that way. And if I draw a card, I'm just going to have to discard. So let's explore. I've already shuffled this, so let's just start flipping. Ants, immediately. Okay. I wish I'd take the initiative now. This is really rough because I don't want to discard a bunch of random cards right now. This is pretty unfortunate for me. I could commit double Eureka to get to +1. The issue with that is the skulls are currently a -3. So my chances of passing there are not actually that great. I think I am probably going to just test this raw. Hopefully don't fail by too much. And then hopefully don't discard really key assets. Like, pray that I don't discard any of these 3. This is really rough. Oh, goodness gracious, that's a lucky draw. That's a +1? I pass? I pass off of that. That's nuts. Because my foot is at 3 from Ichitaka, and this is a difficulty 4 test. I am blessed. That is... I was kind of complaining about my bad luck from previous scenarios. Like, this alone makes up for it. That's the only token that actually passes me on this test. I get to keep this whole hand. That's fantastic. I just realized I made a huge punt. I should have just played the 2 segments, because they are fast. But, big yikes. That was scary. All right, anyways, do I actually want to resolve this and put no stone on the bottom? I think I do. Because eventually, this is gonna... It decreases the density of my weakness. Like, my weakness is now 1 in 11 rather than 1 in 10. And there's a chance that the scenario goes so fast that there's a chance I don't even see it, which would be beneficial. So I'm gonna do that, and then before my turn ends, I'm gonna pay $1 to play 1 segment down, just so I don't have to discard in the upkeep phase. All right, so then let's take our upkeep. Oh god, yeah. All right, those are some good icons. I like having the relic as just a nice safe commit. Doom, and let's take our first encounter from the encounter deck anyway. Lost in the Wilds. See, this is something that I don't want to have to deal with. I'm gonna Rook for 9 cards. All right, there's Astounding Revelation, and a Dream Diary, and an Expedition Journal. Oh goodness, everything I want. I'm gonna put a secret on Rook, and I'm gonna take the Expedition Journal. This is 7 cards going back. Yep. Right, 7 cards. Yep, correct. And now for the Lost in the Wilds, I'm currently testing at -1. I'm going to commit Relic to be at +2. And I'm going to commit a Eureka to get to +3. I get to resolve a Eureka this way. I also just, I want to explore this turn. I don't want this to effectively cost me the free action off of the Expedition Journal. All right, fantastic. So these go away. This is discarded. I get to search my top 3. I'm going to take the Practice Makes Perfect. I think that's a useful card for me to have. And let's see what my hunch is. Preposterous Sketches. Okay. That's pretty good. At least it's potentially good. Click 1. I'm going to play Ever Vigilant. So this Segment of Onyx is free. This Archaic Glyphs costs me $1. And this Expedition Journal costs me $1. That's action 1. Or, no, not there. Action 2, I'm going to explore. Use my bonus action off of Expedition Journal. Not it. Not it. Not it. That is it. Oof, this is not one of the ones I like. Oops, I should make sure I'm playing with 1 investigator, not 2, so that the clue spawns are correct. And what does this say? After you enter Overgrown Tombs, if you are poisoned, lose all remaining actions in your turn. Thankfully, I'm not poisoned. But this one has very unfortunate connections. I really don't want to have to explore out of the circuitous trail, because that's just gross. The rope bridge isn't as bad. I just have to be careful to not lose actions, but the damage that it deals when you go to the River Canyon isn't important. Anyway, action 2 here, or technically action 3 because I've done this, but that was a bonus action. So this was Ever Vigilant, this was Expedition Journal. Now I'm going to play my Preposterous Sketches, recharge my hand up. So currently there is a clue on my location, so I can play this, and it only costs me 0 because it's a hunch. So 3 cards. Let's see what I get. Okay, I like the Take the Initiative for some security against the encounter deck. The Rook is obviously not that helpful because I already have a Rook out with plenty of charges left. I could investigate with a Perception and a Eureka, testing at +2. That's not terrible. +2, I think, is all but 3 out of these tokens. It fails on the Elder thing, the -3, and the auto fail. Oh no, and the -5. So so it's 75%. So I want to get to +3. I don't want to test at just that. I could play the Practice Makes Perfect. I could also just commit the Practice Makes Perfect to save $. I am kind of poor. I am going to want to play my Dream Diary when I find it. Nice thing is that if I resolve a Perception and a Eureka, that's helping me find more cards. And I do want to get this clue. This is also a very good candidate of a clue to get pendanted, because it is 5 Shroud. 5 Shroud is pretty painful. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I think I could also explore. There's also an argument to be made for exploring, but I actually kind of don't like that because my Take the Initiative isn't giving me icons right now. And I don't want to hit a Snakebite right now because that would lose me my Rook most likely, and then I'd lose 2 charges on the Rook instead of just 1 if I do it next turn. Yeah, so I think it's better to investigate. And the Practice Makes Perfect is nice and all, but I've already found, I believe, 2 of my standing revelations, and it's, like, I can probably find a deduction at some point with Rook. Yeah, so let's investigate. Testing 4 versus 5, 5 versus 5, 7 versus 5, 8 versus 5. 8 versus 5. Well, that's unfortunate. That is a real kick in the teeth. Not much I can do about that. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So anyways, I go to my upkeep. There are no enemies in play. Oof. Oof! If I'd succeeded that, I could have... I guess I probably would have drawn with the perception first, but... oof. Whatever. I still feel like overall my RNG has been positive just off of that Elder Sign on the ants. That was nuts. Yeah, so I've added the Doom. This is my third turn, and encounter. Snakebite. Gonna react with Rook for sure. And definitely, oh, well, I get my internal injury. And definitely taking Dream Diary here. Best card for me to find. I don't even care which copy it is. That's what I want. I want it more than the segment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Snakebite. Currently testing 3 versus 3. I think I am going to commit to take the initiative here. Just because I am going to start having my Dream Diary online, and so the amount of time I'm going to need this, like I'm going to start having icons reliably, so I don't need to value this as highly as I did before, and saving this charge on Rook is pretty good. Like it's getting to the point where it'll very likely find Segment of Onyx number 3. So yeah, I'm going to test this. And the also thing, using it during the encounter phase rather than during like an explorer halfway through my turn, is that it's giving me my full 3 icons, which is good. So this is testing at +3 now. All right, pass. Didn't need to commit, but that's okay. All right, let's find out what my hunch is for this turn. Working, well, done. Easy. I'm just going to play that right now. Get this clue. God, that's having just free working a hunch. Having 2 of these somewhere in your hunch deck is just like eventually you find them and they're just insane value. It's just a free clue. So good. I love Joe. I think first thing I want to do is explore with the Expedition Journal. Pitfall. I don't care about this. I'm just going to test. All right, I'm taking 3 damage. Right, for each point you feel by take 1, yep. So I'm taking 3. So 2 of that will go on Ishitaka, and 1 of that will go on Rook. I'm going to action 1, play my Dream Diary. And then actions 2 and 3, drop my internal injury. And that is my turn. Let me just... grab a copy of Essence here, and I should probably check which one this is. This is the one that cares about being engaged with enemies. That's actually the better one. So that's pretty good. All right, so upkeep. Deal 3. Counter poison bears. All right, I need to get out of here. Jeez. All right, so start my turn to get my Essence. I flip my hunch. All right, that's not going to be useful. First things first, let's Expedition Journal. No one supplies. I'll take a damage. Action 1, explore. One moment.
Are you got any light white?
No.
Any nothing at all? Okay, because I was going to do light white. Now it's better down here, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of something.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, so got the rope bridge. That's the much better one to have found of the two. I think we're going to investigate committing a standing revelation to be at +3. This is only on if you explore, right? Not if you investigate, yeah. So, yeah, standing revelation. That's a -2, so we pass. Get this clue. And then last action, I'm going to attempt to explore. And I think I want to just put the River Canyon into play. I think I want to just fail this test, take 2 damage, and put the River Canyon into play. I think what I'm going to do is use Rook before this test. 9 cards. Certainly going to just grab the other segment. Put these cards back. And yeah, testing at +1. Oh no. Oh no, that's the only problem with doing it this way. So I doomed the location. Oh, and that means I'm advancing this turn. Oof. All right. Well, that's basically costing me a whole turn. That's unfortunate. All right. Anyways, let's resolve this. So lose all your remaining actions, which is none, and end my turn. Place my investigator at the River Canyon. Take 2 damage. So I'm going to put 1 on myself and 1 on Rook. And we have to search this for the River Canyon. I'm now in the River Canyon. Okay. So end of my turn, this shuffles back in. This readies. Upkeep. Get my dollar. My card. We advance. Luckily, this is not a cave, so Doom does disappear from locations. This advance is shuffling counter, discard pile into the counter deck. Oh, and sorry, the poisonous spores should be discarded as well. Alright, I have a boa constrictor on my hands. That's an annoying one. Just because it doesn't go away like the basilisks do. And then I get my encounter. Another ants. Gross. Alright, well the one nice thing is that this Essence of the Dream is a free roll, because I'm going to get it back at the start of my turn. And it's also, because I am at Diaries of Dreams of a Madman, giving me +4. So I'm actually testing +3 currently. I'm also going to play the Segment of Onyx while this test is on the stack. Or wait, never mind, I don't think I can do that. Because I think this is only during your turn can you play fast assets. There's something like that. Alright, so I'm just going to assume that I can't do that and not do it. Alright, so testing at +3. Alright, that's a pass. Alright, okay, so then start of my turn. Essence goes back to my hand with the Dream Diary. I reveal my hunch. Scene of the crime. That's actually fantastic. Okay, so how do I want to handle this? I could just scene, but I think it's better to just use Archaic Glyphs to pick up this clue and also evade this thing. So I'm going to do that instead. I guess that, like, the risk is that this could potentially fail, but think that's a risk I'm willing to take. If it fails, I can just evade it with segment and come get that clue later, or maybe pick up the clue later with the segment. All right, so yeah, so let's do an archaic glyphs test. So I'm investigating 4 versus 4. I'm committing Essence of the Dream, and because I'm engaged with an enemy, this is giving me 4 icons, so I'm at 8 versus 4. I think I don't commit the Ever Vigilant. I think Ever Vigilant is going to be really helpful for getting Rook down. Yep, so 8 versus 4. -3, fantastic. So I get this clue. And I evade this bow constructor. All right, now I'm going to use my expedition journal to explore. I'm going to shuffle it because I just searched it previously with the canyon. I believe that is connected. Yes, it is. It's not connected to any of the other locations, so I'm just going to put it down here. Actually, no, I know something about how these interact, so I'm going to put it over here. Cool. Now, what I'd really like to do is find a deduction. So I think what I do is play Ever Vigilant. This feels somewhat inefficient, but I think that's okay. It basically means I'm giving up on Pathfinder, but I think I can get by without Pathfinder. But I'm going to play Ever Vigilant. For Rook, for 2, and Segment of Onyx for 0. Sorry, that's action number 2. Oh, there we go. So that means I get my pendant to the Queen. And I get a Rook. I'm just going to copy so it gets the tokens on him. And then I'm going to use Rook, searching 9 cards. And indeed, I found a deduction. And action 3, I'll investigate, committing a deduction. Testing at +3. Fantastic. I get 2 clues. Okay, enemy phase, no enemies are ready. Upkeep, this will ready, along with these. End of my turn, scene of the crime shuffled into my hunch deck. Shuffle this, make sure it's shuffled. Cool. Alright, Doom 1 of 5. Counter. More ants. Goodness gracious. I think I just don't care about my hand. I don't think any of these cards are important. So I think I just test this. I think I don't even use Rook. I think I use Rook to recover and get a good card after these go away. I guess the one issue is this does risk the Cultist again, but that's a 1 in 16. Of course, now that I've said it. Nope, okay, cool. So I'm going to just, for each point I fail by, discard a random card from your hand. I'm just going to discard 4 cards from my hand. So these all go away. I'm okay with that. I don't think those cards are necessary anymore. All right, so on my turn, Essence of the Dream Ghost returns. I flip my hunch. No Stone. I probably don't end up using No Stone. I might. We'll see. Let's, because I feel like I'm pretty set up. I don't need a ton of cards now. Let's Expedition Journal, first things first. So we can hit, the only thing we can hit from here is the Path of Thorns. All right, there it is. I guess I'll just put it there. This is going to be a horribly misorganized mess once the yellow location comes into play. But crucially, I am within one range of the boa constrictor currently, which is a little bit awkward. So that was my expedition journal. I'm gonna return this to 90%, 90 degrees. So let's go rook. Look at 9 cards. I guess just look at the whole hand, the whole deck. I think what I want here are the detective quotes, just because it's icons. It'll get me to +3 on this test, potentially. Yeah, so let's investigate. I think I commit this to be a +3. All right, I pass. It's my 6th clue. So I just need to get the clues off of the time-racked woods, and then I can head to the mouth and start dropping pillars. So this is actually a great place to explore from because I can't possibly hit the circuitous trail. The one issue is I will take a damage from exploring, but I have my 2nd rook down to absorb that, so it's fine. So yeah, so let's do an explore action. All right, I find it. And we can put that here. It's connected to both of these locations, and then it's also connected here. I guess that'll just have to do. And I think at this point I do use the no stone because I'm going to want to investigate this with deduction to get both clues. So I think that's what I'm going to do. No stone. Looking at the top 6. I don't find the deduction, but I do find take the initiative, which is also very good. So I'm going to just grab that. That'll help protect me from other potential problems. I essentially don't want to take a single test at anything less than +2 now, so that I don't risk another doom to the cultist. So I think that's going to be the plan. Okay. And then the last thing I do on my turn is I spend a charge here to just evade this boa constrictor. I don't want to have to deal with it. Okay. So upkeep. This readies, this readies, this readies, this readies. I get my card, get my clicks. Doom 2. And I draw an encounter. Apex Strangleweed. Okay. Okay. So let's first see what my hunch is. Scene of the crime. Oh! Oh! Mwah! Perfect. I couldn't ask for better. So the first thing I'm going to do is Scene of the Crime. And that does not provoke attacks of opportunity, so I don't have to worry about this ability. And that gets me these 2 clues, because there is an enemy at my location. So I have all the clues I need. Now, I'm going to do click 2. I'm going to do an investigate with Archaeoglyphs. This is testing 4 versus 4. I'm going to commit Essence of the Dream. Because I'm engaged with an enemy, it's getting +2 from my Dream Diary. So that is 8 versus 4. And I'm going to commit this other Archaeoglyphs to be at 9 versus 4. So I'm testing at +5. That is so unfortunate. That is just incredibly painful. So I get attacked. I'm going to take the horror on Ichitaka and the damage on Rook. That was the only token I could fail on. Jesus. I need this thing evaded so that I can dip over to the mouth. How many actions have I spent? I've spent 2 actions. This would be giving me +1. Let's use Rook to try to... I have a Daring in here, so I can use Daring, and it's already alert, so that's fine. Yeah, so I grab my Daring. Shuffle this, obviously. Click 3, I'm going to evade the Apex Strangleweed. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I don't take an attack of opportunity. I don't take the attack, because this was an investigate. So never mind, this damage doesn't happen, this horror doesn't happen. Because that was a fail on the Archaeoglyphs test. Failing that does not trigger an attack. Okay. This one would, though, because I am going to do an evade committing Daring, testing at +3. Okay, I succeed. All right, so I draw a card off of my Daring. This is evaded, and I'm going to use Pendant of the Queen to move all the way over to the mouth of Kyanan, however you pronounce that. Okay. Okay. Enemy phase, this hunts. This readies. This readies, this readies. Shuffle this up. I get my dollar in my card. Get my clicks. Doom 3. Encounter. Poisonous Spores. Woof! That means I need to get poisoned if I want to get all 6 pillars. Because I have exactly enough clicks to get 6 pillars right here. And so if I stay here, if I had Pathfinder, I could like Pathfinder out and then like Pendant of the Queen back in or something. But as it stands, well, let's see what my hunch is. It's probably going to be my weakness. Knowledge is power. Oh, unfortunately, that doesn't help in this situation. I get my Essence of the Dream. It would have helped a ton earlier when I could have used it as a free action on my Archaeoglyphs. But yeah, it doesn't actually help here. I think it's worth it, because I think we've ruled that you can spend 2 XP to remove the poison, and I'm getting plenty of XP here. And I even have XP, I have 2 XP banked from the last scenario because I had 5, but I only bought charisma. So I think I'm fine just getting poisoned. And like, I think that's fine. Yeah, so let's spend 2 clues to advance the act. We get this guy into play. And then I'm just going to spend 3 clicks and 3 clues to place 3 pillars. And that exhausts this guy. He does not ready during the next upkeep phase. End of the round, poison, or I guess end of my turn, this shuffles. Enemy phase, this hunts. This thing's not a hunter. I don't have any assets that I need to ready. This thing does not ready. End of the round, poisonous spores hits me for a poison. And then it's my... Oh, I guess I have to do my upkeep before the end of the round, technically. But that's okay. Doom 4 of 5. Encounter. Another poisonous spores. That one does not matter. I will spend 3... Oh. I need to reveal my hunch. Okay, doesn't matter. Spend 3 clues and 3 clicks for 6 pillars. And that means that I advance. Cool. So, end of the day, I get 2 VP, 3, 4 VP, which is going to mean I'm actually... Oh, the poison means I'm 1 short. Actually, no, I'm dumb. I don't need... Like, poison has no game effect in the next scenario, so I don't need to... I can just float poison for scenario 6 and then remove it before scenario 7 and be totally fine. Fantastic. All right, this went really well. There were a couple of untimely auto fails, but other than that, I think this went really smoothly, and I think I actually broke the curse of really bad luck. I didn't even see my weakness, whereas before I always saw it at the worst possible time. So I'm very pleased with how this went. I also don't think... I think I managed to not make any mistakes this time. I could be just forgetting something, but I think I'm okay. Yeah, turns out Pendant to the Queen and Archaic Glyphs are pretty good cards in this kind of scenario where there's just a bunch of big enemies to deal with that you'd rather not fight. All right. Fantastic. Well, I think I'm going to call it a stream there. But thanks to whoever watched, and good luck to everyone in the rest of the campaign.